So how do you know when a relationship has become significant? How do you know when a relationship has become serious? You could refer to them as someone important, significant to you, that you could call them your boyfriend or significant other. How do you know that? How do you know when to refer to them, to your friends and to your family, as someone who's very significant to you and very important? Someone who you could refer to as your girlfriend or boyfriend. What's the line? See, in my course, The Successful Open Relationship System, I go in great depth talking about this model. And the model is called the intimacy model of relationships. And the intimacy model of relationships goes against, or not necessarily against, but it's a completely different paradigm, way of thinking, way of perceiving relationships than the standard model of relationships. You see, here's the difference. In the standard model of relationships, people refer to somebody or look at somebody as someone who's either friend material or lover material or marriage material or boyfriend-girlfriend material. I do not go about it in that way. Everybody to me, and this is not what I'm going to go into. So there's two models, right? The first model is a standard model of relationships, which you refer to somebody as either someone who is a boyfriend-girlfriend material, marriage material, or significant other material, or who's friend material. And the dilemma with this is that if they're a friend, they have to be strictly friends, and you can't interface with them in a way that's more sensual or more intimate, unless it's just for fun. It's just not something serious. Or you can refer to them as somebody who is a potential for a serious relationship, who is a more significant person, a relationship, and you interact with them in a different way. And you can't commingle the two, you see? And I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going to go into now the intimacy model of relationships, which I propagate. I go in great depth talking about the intimacy model, and it begins like this. I don't distinguish someone as either friend material or lover material or fun material or friends only material or serious material. I go about it very differently. I begin everyone as a friend. And that's the premise of the intimacy model of relationships. Intimacy has to be properly defined. What do you define intimacy as? Most people can't really define intimacy. Intimacy is how well you know the person. It's a very simple definition, and it applies wonderfully in your relationship. Here's how it applies. Because intimacy is how well you know the person. In other words, the more you get to know them, the more intimacy you build. All right? So intimacy model goes like this. Everybody, to me, begins as friends. And I can interact with them in a way that merits that relationship. If they become friends with me, or they're potential friend material when I meet them, hey, this is somebody I like, this is somebody I can connect with, this is somebody I can communicate with, who can communicate with me, and who wants to communicate with me. Therefore, we can seek understanding about each other. Not merely two people interfacing, communicating with each other, just hearing themselves talk. We can connect, we have commonalities, and we have similar interests, and we can connect on those things. So we're now building intimacy. How are we building intimacy? We're building intimacy by getting to know more about each other, getting to know each other more. Now we become more intimate and more intimate. Until which point, some people, now it evolves, that relationship. It evolves to either becoming less significant or more significant. But how do you distinguish that? They become more or less significant based on how you interact and interface. What, again, let me ask you, what is the word which we define, which we reserve for how people interact and interface? Or more appropriately, how people and entities interact and interface. Do you have the word? Yes, the word is relationship. I build a relationship with somebody beginning as friend or potential friend material. What distinguishes a friend? What makes a friend? A friend is someone you can trust. All you have to do to prove that to yourself, that is the definition of a friend, do you have any friends which you can't trust? Now, some women are saying, yeah, I have a lot of friends that I can't trust. But let's be ethical and just say that you don't have any friends that you can't trust. By definition, a friend primarily has to be trusted, has to be able to be trusted. So I have that. I can trust them. I have commonalities with them. I enjoy being with them. Now we can build more intimacy with each other because our relationship merits existence. They enjoy having me around, I enjoy having them around. You see? So we build our intimacy from that, and the relationship based on how we merit based on how the relationship merits existence, meaning we want to be there, we want to interact in the way that we interact because we're individuals. Each relationship will be individual. There is no such thing as a cookie cutter relationship which you follow because you have particular interests, wants, likes, desires, and goals in which has to align with the other person. They have to be okay with your goals. They have to be able to work with your goals and support them. And they have to be able to facilitate or be in cahoots or align with your wants, likes, desires. Otherwise, why would you ever start a relationship? Why would you have a relationship other than for small other reasons, which doesn't make for a significant relationship? Do you understand? So our relationship, our intimacy builds and builds from that. Sometimes it becomes sexual. Sometimes it becomes friendly and platonic. Sometimes it becomes professional. Sometimes it becomes professional and sexual. Sometimes it becomes professional and platonic friends. Sometimes it becomes platonic friends, sexual friends, best friends, and then platonic friends, and then sexual friends, whichever, however the relationship merits its existence. And then, so let me answer the question before I end this video. We're going to talk a lot more about that in other videos, but how do you then determine if the relationship is significant enough? Only you can determine that based on what? Here's the answer. It's based on a negotiation per negotiation, an arrangement per arrangement basis. If the arrangement is so important, the arrangement or the negotiation, the how you guys interact, the interaction, the interfaction, whatever the word is, how you interact, interface becomes significant enough because the arrangement is so important that it takes up a lot of your attention, a lot of your time. That's when you can determine, hey, this is pretty significant. Let me give an example. I just ate, so I'm about to burp. The example is this, a good example. Let's say you're so significant to each other that you'd rather, hey, it's a better deal for both of us. We really like being with each other. We understand each other. We appreciate each other's rules, boundaries, and likes, wants, desires. We really have a lot in common. And we support each other and love each other. We love being with each other. Why don't we just live in one place and save money in that way? We can make this arrangement, and it's really much more efficient and elegant when we have that arrangement. Let's do it. Now, since you're living with somebody, it's so important because they're with you a lot of the time that you're existing. It becomes really important. That's when you can determine it's significant. Now, it may not appear that way. You may not have to live together for it to become significant. But if it merits enough of your attention and time, and that's when you can determine it's significant enough. Only you can determine whether a relationship is significant enough to you. Do you understand? It's all about how you think here. It's not a specific thing that makes a relationship significant. It's all about how you think and how you are and how you be. I'm going to talk about a lot more about that in other videos, but if you want more in-depth, comprehensive lessons, I have 29 completely jam-packed information lessons on the Successful Open Relationship System course, link in my bio. Share this video with other people. You make the world a better place for all of us. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.